NASA has confirmed that Voyager 2 is now in the space between the stars, having exited the protective bubble around our Sun known as the heliosphere. For over 4 decades, Voyager 2 has been traveling through the vast silence of space, passing far beyond the distant orbits of Neptune and Uranus and then beyond the heliopause, the boundary where the solar wind and magnetic field of our star finally give way to the unfiltered pressures of true interstellar space. Launched in 1977, this remarkably resilient spacecraft has survived the icy emptiness of the cosmos, tirelessly transmitting data that has fundamentally changed our understanding of the solar system and what lies beyond. Yet recently, something happened that no one had anticipated. Voyager 2, that silent emissary from Earth, drifting for decades on a seemingly endless trajectory into the void, turned. It shifted its direction, ever so slightly, and in doing so it transmitted a stream of data that confirmed what some scientists had quietly worried about for years. For decades, researchers speculated about what lies beyond the protective bubble of the Sun. The heliopause had long been imagined as our solar system's final frontier, a place where the Sun's influence ends and interstellar space truly begins. Voyager 2 crossed that boundary in 2018, marking a monumental milestone in space exploration. But crossing the heliopause wasn't an end at all. It was the beginning of an entirely new chapter, one that would evolve into something far stranger and, ultimately, more unsettling than anyone expected. In early 2025, mission controllers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory began receiving unusual telemetry from Voyager 2. For weeks, the data stream grew increasingly erratic. Subtle anomalies began to show up in cosmic ray measurements and magnetic field readings. At first, these variations were dismissed as natural fluctuations, dense pockets of cosmic particles or perhaps interference from distant stellar phenomena. But then Voyager 2 did something inexplicable. It turned. Slowly, unmistakably, it deviated from its expected path. This wasn't the random drift of a battered spacecraft succumbing to time. The shift was deliberate, its motion too regular and purposeful to be an accident. Some force had acted upon it, something powerful enough to alter its long-established course, and precise enough to do so in a specific direction. When this directional shift was first detected, scientists were stunned. The ancient thrusters aboard Voyager 2 hadn't been activated. Its systems, though primitive by today's standards, were functioning as intended. There was no mechanical fault, no onboard error to explain the change. It wasn't an accident, it was a response. Voyager 2, in effect, had flinched. As if startled by something in the darkness, it turned back. The data it sent home was cryptic and disturbing. Instruments recorded a sudden spike in high-energy particles, energies far beyond what is typical of interstellar space. Cosmic radiation surged beyond baseline levels, and, more troubling still, the magnetometer detected a sharp and unnatural distortion in the local magnetic field. This wasn't the subtle bending of space weather or the gentle sweep of a distant pulsar's influence. The distortion was jagged, concentrated, and unnervingly regular. Patterns emerged in the data, repeating, almost rhythmic fluctuations that suggested structure in what should have been the chaotic emptiness of space. At first, the team hesitated to draw conclusions. Voyager 2 is over 20 billion kilometers from Earth, and even at light speed its signals take more than 18 hours to arrive. Instrument readings could degrade, and interference might corrupt the results. But weeks of cross-referencing with simulations and ground-based observations left little doubt. The patterns weren't natural. They showed hallmarks of artificiality, of something engineered, designed. The implications were staggering. Voyager 2 hadn't merely crossed the boundary of the solar system. It had encountered another boundary altogether, one older, more deliberate, and terrifyingly vast. The anomaly it approached appeared to be a field of some kind, perhaps a containment zone or a spatial threshold, invisible and silent until it reacted to the probe's presence. Voyager's turn wasn't random. It was a retreat. Something out there had compelled it to back away, as though the spacecraft had stumbled across a warning. Further analysis revealed an even more chilling detail. Embedded within the electromagnetic disturbances was a repeating frequency, one not found in any known natural phenomenon. The signal repeated every 61.2 seconds, like a pulse. Each iteration varied slightly in amplitude but remained consistent in timing. When converted into audio by frequency compression, it produced a low, oscillating hum that many described as haunting, almost organic. The consistency of this pulse, coupled with its direct impact on Voyager 2's instruments, suggested intention. Not life necessarily, but intelligence. This was the confirmation many had feared for years. Scientists had long debated the Fermi paradox. If intelligent life is common in the universe, why haven't we heard from them? The answer, it seemed, was not silence but distance, and perhaps deliberate concealment. What Voyager 2 encountered wasn't just an unexpected feature of interstellar space, but the edge of something hidden beyond our sun's reach. Something watching. The possibility that our solar system was bordered by an artificial perimeter was mind-bending enough. But the fact that Voyager 2's trajectory had been actively altered by this boundary raised even deeper, more troubling questions. What was its purpose? Was it protective? A shield? A deterrent? A containment? Or something worse? A trap? The nature of the boundary defied physics as we know it. It distorted magnetic fields across vast distances and exhibited properties suggesting manipulation of space-time itself at a granular level. If it was the work of an advanced civilization, their technological capabilities would be so far beyond ours as to appear godlike. They could shape the vacuum of space itself. They could hide in plain sight until they chose to reveal themselves. And now, it seemed, we had provoked them. Voyager 2 had no cameras active. The imaging systems had been shut down years ago to conserve power. So we have no pictures, only data. But what the instruments recorded paints a chilling picture. The region it approached was unusually empty. No dust, no gas, no gradient of background radiation. A void within the void, unnaturally clean. This eerie absence was perhaps the most unsettling clue of all. Something had cleared that space, not as an accident of astrophysics but by design. It was preparation. Speculative theories about interstellar quarantines have existed for years, but now they were being taken seriously in private meetings among scientists and military officials. What if our solar system was cordoned off for a reason? Not to protect us from the universe, but to protect the universe from us? Or to isolate something dangerous within? This vast boundary might not merely be observation, it could be enforcement. And Voyager 2, that tiny, unassuming relic of human curiosity, may have crossed a line that was never meant to be breached. The spacecraft continues to drift, stabilizing its path into a cautious arc, not returning to Earth. It lacks the fuel and momentum, but clearly veering away from the unknown boundary it encountered, as if instructed to leave or warned away. Its instruments continue to record decreasing field disturbances, suggesting it is moving beyond the influence of whatever it found. Yet the pulsing signal remains in the background, less intense, but ever present. Data analysts on Earth pore over every bit of the transmission, searching for patterns, hidden layers, any sign of meaning. Enhanced processing has found minor modulations in the radiation bursts, variations that hint at layering, perhaps even encoding. If it is communication, it occurs at a scale and in a format that defies our conventional understanding. It might take years to decipher, or it may not be meant to be understood by us at all. The fear that now grips the scientific community isn't science fiction or paranoia. It's the rational dread born of sudden confrontation with the unknown, the kind of unknown that stares back. For generations we looked at the stars and imagined that they were silent, indifferent. But now, with Voyager 2's quiet shift, it seems that the silence was never emptiness, but watchfulness. The stars may appear unchanged to the naked eye, but for those who know what happened, they now shine with a different light, a light of warning, of awareness. Whatever lies out there is no longer theoretical. It is real. It is intelligent. And now, it knows that we are here. Voyager 2 was launched in an age of hope and tension, a time when our digital footprint was a whisper and humanity's dreams of the stars seemed boundless. That such a fragile envoy could survive so long and so far, only to find that it was not alone, is both humbling and terrifying. It is a reminder that the universe is vast, ancient,